So I guess I'm just going to start by sharing some thoughts, and then we can have more of a conversation and brainstorm, especially if others jump on. So do you have a free community that you've started yet, Amanda, or are you still kind of thinking about it? I can't hear you.
About now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still thinking about it. Like, I run some free groups.
Mm-hmm.
I have one that's going to start next Monday, more of a clean eating group because I won't be able to work out.
Mm-hmm.
That I have, like, I think 7 people in right now.
Okay.
But that's really about the only free community that I have.
Okay. So let me give you kind of the breakdown of, the idea of the free community. And Erin did talk about this in the kind of new training video she put up about a month ago. But the free community is really intended to be like the only group besides your challenge group that you ever run again. It's a place where you would collect like-minded people together in one place where they would stay forever unless they took themselves out of the group, which would mean that you would be adding content and value there basically on a daily basis, and then running your challenges within that group itself.
Okay.
So, for example, you may pick a group based on warrior moms. Like, that's what I always think of when I think of you. So I'm just gonna use that as the hypothetical. And so throughout the month, every month you would just have that one group. You would just keep adding people to it, or inviting people to that group. So instead of inviting people like, hey, do you want to join my challenge group? You would be like, hey, do you want to join my warrior mom community? It's an awesome place and we support each other and uplift each other and, do all these fun things or whatever. So that would be what you would invite to. And in that group, you would be able to create the content that fits the needs of your people and be sharing that with them consistently. So, that might be busy mom, prep meal, like quick and easy meal prep tips, or it might just be a funny meme about motherhood, like that you post on one day, or something about driving your kids to a million practices that you post on another day, or, tips and tricks sprinkled throughout the week, or just you sharing a story about something that happened to you as you were living the warrior mom life. Like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It just has to be a point of connection for people that helps to fill an emotional need. And I have to believe that there are a heck of a lot of really stressed moms of teenage kids with lots of activities in the world who probably would love to have other moms to connect with, and either, kind of like complain to on some days and be uplifted by on other days. So that's kind of the general idea behind it. That way you are investing in one place and in one specific area instead of like trying to cobble together 18 different kinds of people into one group that meets their needs, which doesn't work out very well. Like, those groups generally have really low engagement, or they have really, like, they just kind of fizzle. And I think we've all run groups like that. I have run plenty of groups like that where things just have not worked well. So, I guess what I'll kind of go through and like just kind of keep that in mind, like what the free community is and the purpose of it. And then I'll kind of go through and just talk about like some insights I've had over the past few days. I took a step back over the weekend and really just focused on thinking about what I wanted to do with my free community, because I have a free community sitting there that I haven't been super active with, but I've probably been like half as active as I should be. But I've got like 112 people in it. And it's a lot of people who are the group of people that I want to work with and serve. And I need to figure out how to best interact with them. So this is kind of what was working for me when I was being super active in there, and is based on some personal development I've been doing and some other things that have come up. So I'm going to try to make this make sense. So the whole point of the group is to be able to support and uplift the specific group of people that you want to work with. That can be a really specific targeted group of people. Like, I I really want to work exclusively with women who have dealt with infertility in some capacity. So that's where I focus my time. For you, it's probably going to look different, and you'll have to figure out what that is for yourself. But the whole point is to be able to come together in a group of people and somehow meet their unmet emotional need. So that would be like their pain points, basically the things they struggle with, the things that they would need support with, the stuff they would want to talk about. And that does not have to be a health and fitness thing, if that makes sense. I think a lot of us get really caught up in like, okay, that has to just be like Beachbody related. It doesn't. So within that group, you will talk about Beachbody, and you will talk about coaching, and you will talk about running a free challenge every month focused on Beachbody On Demand, but you don't have to make everything about Beachbody. So I'll show you some examples of that in a few minutes. I would say that your group should be the place where you go to connect with other people without having to qualify any of your statements. So sometimes, like, if you're talking to another person, you're trying to explain what your life is like or what your daily routine is like or whatever, and trying to make them understand. This group should be a group of people that you can talk to without ever having to explain yourself. Like another mom who just gets your situation, or another person who really gets it. So I know when I go into my group and I'm like, I had a hysterical crying breakdown in Target today because I saw a mom buying baby clothes. I don't have to explain that to them. I can just say that, and it's validated and expected, and it's okay. So like, that's the type of community that you should be looking to build. So a community that's just based around recipes isn't going to do that for people. A community that's just based around working out isn't going to do that for people. It needs to be something deeper and something more specific to the group of people you want to work with. And it's also a place where you can go and talk, and you don't need to feel like you're not qualified. So I know sometimes as a coach, I'm like, well, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a personal trainer, like, and I feel a little bit unqualified for what I do. In my group though, I feel very qualified because I'm living the experience that I'm talking about every single day. So it's a place that you should be able to go and really share that sense of like, okay, you know, you get this, I get this, we're walking the same path, I can talk about this with authority and be really confident. The thing that most people keep posting on our team page is about like, what do you post in a free community? What do you put there? Because I feel like I'm spending all of my time in the free community versus in my challenge group. And in the challenge group, I feel like those people are paying, they should get more. And I completely agree. And I have definitely poured tons of time into free groups that have yielded me nothing and neglected my challenge group. So this is a really hard balance. What I would say is that a free group is not a challenge group, and do not treat it like one. Your challengers are paying. Those are the people who get your meal plans. Those are the people who get your daily one-on-one encouragement and uplift. Those are the people who you check in with individually on Messenger. Those are the people you work with as a coach. You're not coaching anyone in your free community. So that's what I would say is like the differentiating factor. So in the free community though, it would be the place where you provide a forum for people to connect with each other. So what I mean by that is great stuff to post in your free community would be like question posts to encourage interaction with other people. So today I'm going to share my screen here. Make sure I'm on the right thing because I closed it. So I actually just posted this like right before the call, but it's already getting some good traction. So I feel really good about this particular post. So let me share. Okay, so this is my free community. Are you able to see that? Just thumbs up if you can see. No? Okay. Yeah? Okay. So in my free community today, I did a post on songs that lift you up. Like, seriously, it took me like 30 seconds to make this post. It was so easy. And all I did was ask, you know, what songs lift you up on days that are hard? Like, that's it. it was so easy to make that post and do that. And, you know, I posted this like 20 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, and it was in the evening. So it's kind of an odd time. I'll probably comment back on it tomorrow with another thing, and it'll get like 2 days worth of life out of it. But I ask people to share. And, you know, so what I am going to do is I will take a few minutes and go through and respond to every person who commented on there, like, oh, I love that song, or thanks for the suggestion, or whatever, to give it some traction and whatnot. But this is people coming together to share with each other and lift each other up. Other examples of things that I post in my free community. Let's see if, oh, there we go. Okay. So like here I have like a welcome thing. This is my pin post. So I ask, you know, I kind of give them some guidelines here, like, hey, you know, I reserve the right to remove like negative or inappropriate things. You know, that, yeah, at times I'll be sharing things that worked for me, and whatnot. Like I have a little posting schedule. I haven't really been following this, and I'm probably going to be tweaking this but there's some of it, like Motivation Monday. I post like a motivational quote on Monday morning. I schedule it in advance. It goes up. It's something about, you know, we can do this, we can handle it. Infertility is hard, but it won't determine our whole life, like something like that. Tuesday, I do Truth Talk Tuesday, where I tell people to drop the truth of their infertility. Like Erin and I were talking about her free community, and she was saying something about doing maybe like Mom Life Monday, like having people put in there like what's going on in your mom life, crazy, funny, whatever. So that's a good interactive post. Wednesday, We Matter Wednesday, I was doing like kind of a self-care focused post on that day. I think I'm going to be really changing up the Wednesday through Friday because I haven't quite found my sweet spot there yet. So that's just something there, you know, and so I posted those guidelines. And then like on a regular basis, I have people who post stuff, like they post different memes that they find, videos that they find. A lot of people will come in here and post where they are in their particular infertility journey, and people will comment back and talk to them. I go live. I think going live, and I know that's scary, but going live in your community is huge because it allows them to connect with you really closely. And here's the cool thing about it. So I have 112 people in my community. The video was seen by 73 and 47 people watched it all the way through. That is way more engagement than I would ever get making these posts on my personal page. So this is why I think the free community is super important and to be putting time into, even if it feels like a lot of time, because if you're like putting this out on your personal page, it's basically like you're trying to fill a swimming pool with a Dixie cup. Like it's going to take you forever and ever and ever to be able to reach those people because it's so few and far between. People aren't interested in the message, whatever. Here, I know that 47 people on August 10th watched this video and got connected to it. And that's way more. I'd rather talk to 47 people who are my niche market and my target market than talk to 200 people on my personal Facebook who don't care about whatever I'm talking about. So that's why I do think it's worthwhile to maybe spend a little less time on your personal page and a little more time in your free community if you're looking at reallocating how you're posting and spending your time. A lot of times I just share like a little uplifting quote and something I'm talking about, you know, talking about grief a lot this week. A lot of times I look like a hot mess like I do right now. You know, there's just like really simple stuff, like a quote and a really short thing. So it's nothing like, I don't know how to say it. It's not rocket science. It's not anything that you need to be freaking out about, but I definitely think that it's a good place to post questions. It's a good place, like Truth Talk Tuesday, I always really like, and it gets a good amount of engagement of people talking about where they are in their infertility journey. It's giving people a place to come together and speak about stuff that may be difficult, and gives them a way to feel like it's real and they're connected to other people who get them. So that's kind of the whole purpose behind the free community and how I'm currently doing my posts, although some of that's going to change. So let me stop sharing this really quick and go back to my little group here, or my little notes here. So I would ask yourself like questions when it comes to coming up with posts. How can you validate and uplift people? Like, what would make you feel validated and uplifted, especially at the point in your life before you found Beachbody support systems and coaching? Like, what would have lifted you up? What would have made you feel connected? What did you need at that time? So that would be like kind of the place to start thinking about things that you would want to share. And that may require you to go a little bit out of your comfort zone and get a little more personal than you might be used to doing. But the free community is a great place to do that because it's all people who get you. So I feel really safe talking in my free community about really hard stuff, which is really nice because I do share things in there that I would never share on my personal page, my like page, or even on my Instagram. Okay. So something I'm going to put out there, and this isn't directed at anything, like, this is not directed at you in particular, Amanda. It's just a question that came up for myself a couple of times, and may be helpful to other people on the team as they watch the recording. Are you so stuck to a vision of what your free community should look like that you don't know who you're trying to serve and why you're trying to serve them? So this is where, like, I know when I get stuck, it's because I'm trying to talk to the people I think I should be trying to talk to, which is just people who want to, like, lose weight, or people who might be interested in buying a challenge pack, like, right now. And I kind of get dragged back into the old stuff that I used to do, like running clean eating groups, which are not a bad thing, but they have not personally worked well for me in terms of getting people on board. So I know that that's not the direction I want to go in, but it's always the place I try to go back to, and I kind of lose my focus. So this is where I think we go back to the Beachbody trap of, like, okay, it has to be nutrition focused, it has to be fitness focused in our free community. It doesn't have to be that way all the time. This is the ratio I gave Michelle Montag when we were having our call the other week about this. I said, my free community, my goal is to provide 70% just straight up value. So straight up uplifting, engagement, questions, support, whatever, live video, talking about what I'm going through, what I think would help other people, all of that, 70% that. And then 30% is me asking them to join me as a coachee relationship. I think that actually fits pretty well with Gary Vaynerchuk's jab, 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 right hook. It's about 70%, 75% of that, jab, 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 give the value, give the value, give the value, and then right hook it, ask people to join you. So that actually seems to be pretty sensible to me, because in that situation, even the people who are in your group who are just not ready are still feeling like they're getting a heck of a lot out of being there. So that's a really great thing. And then your vision might be really personal, so it might not be helpful. I know a lot of times we want to pair up with people and run groups, and I've done that in the past too. A lot of times it's not going to work to do that, because it would not make sense for Erin to try to run my free community with me because she's not in my target group. And it would not make sense for me to try to run her group because I'm not a mom. So sometimes we get really, like, paired with another person, or we get dragged into that feeling of, like, I need someone's help. You don't. Like, you can kick around ideas with the team, you can share ideas with the team, but I think at the end of the day, it's a really personal thing, and it has to be based on what you want to offer to people. So this is what the crux of the call is really about. It's something I actually read in my personal development the other day that really got me thinking. So this book is fantastic. It's called Playing Big. And I am kind of obsessed with it. I've been reading it in chunks, but I feel like I was slow because I needed to hear this at the right time. So she talks about a lot of stuff that holds women back. And one of the things that we do is we are consistently seeking feedback from people. Is what I'm doing right? Is what I'm doing good enough? Is what I'm doing, like, worthy of a gold star? Because we all want that. So she talks about the importance of feedback, and I was like, oh, this is really smart. So there are a couple things she says here that I think really help us, and then I'll show you what I did that kind of accidentally a couple months ago that is really changing the way I'm thinking about my free community. So she said that feedback gives us facts about the opinions and preferences of those who are giving the feedback to you. It can't tell you about your merit or your worthiness. When we understand this, we're free. We're free to seek, gather, and incorporate feedback. So like if you wrote a paper and gave it to your teacher and your teacher graded it, it doesn't necessarily tell you whether or not you really wrote a good paper. It tells you whether or not your paper pleased the teacher who graded it, which is kind of like this revolutionary thought for me because I'm so used to like being the good girl who gets the gold star and the A+ that I try to please whoever I'm submitting something to. So if we're talking about a free community and we're looking for approval from everyone about what we're talking about in our free community or our content or whatever, we're going to get kind of lost. She said, feedback shouldn't be dismissed because it doesn't tell you anything about you. It's vital, not because it tells us about our own value, but because it tells us whether we're reaching the people we need to reach. If an entrepreneur wants her pitch to be effective with venture investors, she needs to hear their feedback in order to learn what inspires them to invest. So I was like, oh, this is really smart. She's talking about market research. And she goes on to say, feedback is meant to give you tactical information about how to reach the people you want to reach. Feedback is emotionally neutral. It tells you what resonates for your desired audience, what engages the people you want to engage, and what influences the people you want to influence. So I was like, okay, this is actually really, really intelligent. So she goes on to say, ask yourself, who am I trying to influence or engage? That's who you want to get feedback from. So this is like huge light bulb moment. When we figure out who we want our free community to be, we should be asking those people what they need. And I was like, duh, like I feel like such an idiot for not figuring this out way faster. Because how many times have I, even in the free community I have now, in this group of women that I feel like I understand because I'm one of them, how many times have I tried to do stuff that has not resonated with them at all? Like I've put all this work into doing it and none of it has gone anywhere. Or people haven't engaged, or, it's like the clean eating group. Like we put all this time into prepping it. We make meal plans, we come up with recipes, we do this, and then it falls completely flat. It's not because it sucked. It's not because it sucked. It's because it didn't meet the needs of the people we were trying to serve, because A, we probably didn't know who we were trying to serve, and B, when we did find them, we didn't meet their needs. And I was like, oh, this is so smart. So she went on in the next chapter, and then I'll show you how I think we can figure this out, to talk about what we do when we are trying to figure this out. I just have to find the right page. Okay. Where did it go? Oh, shoot. I had this marked before and then I unfolded the page. Okay. Well, she talks about, anyway, I'm just going to sum it up because, designing at the whiteboard. Here it is. Okay. So she said, and this is what I do. I write my ideas down on my whiteboard, literally over on the side of my office. And I have all these ideas and I put them into practice before I ever get any feedback on them. So generally I do that because I feel like I already know what I want and need to do. And then I also do it because I get so caught up in the idea that I've created. So she says, in Silicon Valley, they call it designing at the whiteboard. Designing at the whiteboard seems like a reasonable way to get work done, but it usually brings disaster. It's too easy for the insider, the people passionate about and committed to a product, so workouts and Shakeology, to veer into fantasy land as they make their plan. Designing at the whiteboard could be something like spending week after week thinking about branding for the small business you want to start without ever talking to your ideal customer to see if it even resonates with them in the first place. In other words, designing at the whiteboard is brainstorming, business building, or creative process that you pursue in isolation without feedback from the people you're trying to reach with your decision. Our creations flop because they are too untethered from the reality of the people that we are trying to reach. And I was like, okay, this is really smart. So this is what I'm going to encourage everyone on the team to do, is to come up with a way to do some market research. And I'm going to show you, because I actually did this in February and I haven't been using it, which is so stupid. So, but it's good because now I can show you guys exactly what I did. So once you've identified who you want to talk to, I would make a survey and I would submit it, or I would put it out there for people. So I would post it on your personal Facebook. I would email it to people you know. I would post it in your free community if you've started building it. And I would ask them to answer a set of survey questions for you that would give you some feedback on what the people need in their life, what they are feeling is most important to them, what would help them, what would serve them, what would help them feel better, what would lower their stress levels, like things like that. So I'm going to show you the survey that I did. And I made it for free on SurveyMonkey. It was super easy. And I just posted it on my Facebook and my Instagram and put it out there. And I had, these are just selected results here that I compiled into a PDF, but I had about 60 people answer it. I had 60 people in my target market answer these survey questions for me, and I feel like I've done nothing with it, and they've just been sitting there, and they're so valuable. So let me share this real quick. Okay, so it might take a moment. Just thumbs up when you can see this PDF file. Okay, so this is just like cut and pasted, so it's kind of messy, but so here's my survey results. So question 1, what has been the hardest part of your infertility struggle? So this, if you're doing a warrior mom community, what is the hardest part about being a mother to very active children, like who have a lot of activities or something like that? And then just give them a field where they can type in their answer. So I got a lot of ranges here of things like some of it were finances, miscarriages, never knowing for sure, month-to-month disappointment, whatever. So got a lot of answers. What has been the biggest impact regarding infertility on your day-to-day life? So I have this whole slew of answers here of things that they're dealing with day-to-day. So all of this stuff is stuff that I can be creating posts around. Everything in here. Like, I can't believe I've been sitting on this for over 6 months. Like, oh my gosh, Lauren. So I should be talking about all this stuff. How does connecting with others going through infertility struggles help you? This gives me some validation on the free community. So that's stuff I can talk about. But the big thing for me is down here. What are the things about dealing with infertility that stress you the most? All of these things are things that I could be developing as like mini challenges or themed weeks. So like I have started doing some of this and they've gone pretty well. Like I had one week where we talked all about grief and loss. I had one week where we talked about rekindling romance with your spouse, because that popped up as a huge issue for people. Like it's destroyed their sex life. You know, all of that kind of stuff was like a really big help. So these are all things that I can use to appeal to the people in the group. What is the biggest support you could be offered to help you better cope with your infertility? So again, we could change that. What's the biggest support you could be offered to help you cope better with being a really busy mom? Like what would help you the most? And then people can tell you and you can give it to them and not just be stabbing in the dark for something. So I think that's pretty great. Down here, how has infertility affected your marriage? That gave me a lot of insight. But then these are the places that I got the most. How much time do you spend on yourself each day practicing forms of self-care? Because in the free community, you are going to offer a 7-day, I'm doing a 10-day group, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute, or a 10-day challenge for using Beachbody on demand and practicing self-care. So I think no matter what free community you choose, you can make self-care a focus. It's something you should be talking about probably every week. You should be sharing what you do for self-care. You should be talking about that. And when you talk about it regularly, making people the offer to join you won't seem icky because it's just who you are. So I make it a point to go live in my free community all the time within a few minutes of working out, because then I'm always red-faced and sweaty and I'm like, oh guys, I'm so sorry, I just finished my workout, but I wanted to talk to you about this today. So they're not like caught off guard when I start talking about Beachbody. But here, this shows me that this is a huge place that people need support. They need a huge amount of support from me on self-care. Like when depression hits 0, my self-care is limited. I spend lots of time watching TV or reading. I don't have energy or motivation to exercise. Once a week for an hour, half an hour to an hour probably. 0, an hour, little. Used to be never, now it's almost daily. Like, but I'm getting this sense that it's a huge problem for people. Because they're not spending time. And then how has infertility affected your physical health and wellness? Everyone, for the most part, talked about they need to lose weight because they put on weight. Like, this was huge for me to recognize, okay, I really actually do need to offer people a weight loss and self-care solution. And I need to feel okay about offering that because clearly people need it. It might take them some time to trust me. It might take them 3 or 4 months of being in my group and getting content for them to say yes. But this is a huge thing. So, and same thing with emotional health and wellness. Like, this is a huge focus area for me. I need to be talking about this more. So I think that if you have the opportunity to create a survey and put it out to the people who are in your target market, and there probably are a lot of people in your warm market on Facebook who could be in that group, who you just say, hey, if you're a mom who has kids with lots of activities, put it out there. Not that that's the group you've chosen, but just as like a mock group for right now. You know, that is something that you can ask people. You can post that on your Instagram. You can put that out there. And even if you only have 10 people, like in this book, she talks about going through one of her clients' projects, and all they needed was a little focus group of 10 people. And that's plenty of people to give you feedback and help you know what you should be talking about and to give you some ideas and inspiration to move forward. So I think that's actually a huge help, because sometimes we get stuck because we're like, I have to make this group and I have to come up with all this content, and it just feels super overwhelming. And I think the reason that we feel that is we just don't really know what our people need. Like, we may not know who they are first, and then we just don't know what they need. And what they don't need is us posting 18 sweaty selfies. That's probably not what they need. But what they probably do need is someone to come in there and say, hey, I really get what it feels like to be left behind by every single person in your friend group because everyone else has 5 children and you have none. I get it. Like, that's the kind of thing that they need in that moment. And then you can also offer them the fitness and wellness solution. So based on that, we have some other things. So something that's come up in the team page recently is, okay, I have a free community. I have people in it. I don't know how to offer my free challenge to people. I don't know how to offer my paid challenge to people. So I wanted to kind of go over that for a minute, and then it'll be more like Q&A time or whatever we want to do. So this is how I say you offer things to people. Provide a shit ton of value and then it's not going to be weird to offer things to people. I think we're too focused on finding the perfect strategy. Like, somehow we're going to slip it in under the radar that we're a Beachbody coach and that's what we should be doing. No, like, if we're passionate about our product and we're passionate about what it's done for us, it's okay to talk about it. And it's perfectly fine to just say, hey, I'm having such a great time connecting with everyone here. Like, something that I really love to do next week is run this great free, like 5-day challenge or 7-day challenge focusing on self-care, because we've been talking about it a lot. And a lot of you have expressed interest in having a better approach to self-care. So what we're going to do is this, and then offer it to people. So this is what I'm going to do for my free challenge that I'm going to run next week. So I'm going to put this out there Thursday. So let me just find the right file to open here, and then I'll share it. Oh, hello. Okay. So I am calling it if I can find the right window to open. Okay. All right. So I'm calling it the Get Your Mojo Back week, because that's what my girls need. So what is it? 10 days of focusing on you. The first person to get ignored during an infertility journey is yourself. So let's turn that around and focus on you for 10 days. A super easy and yummy meal plan. So I am going to provide a meal plan for them. But the only way they're going to get that meal plan is if they sign up through my WooFoo form and I get their email. So they have to sign up with me to get it. So that's the first thing. So a super easy and yummy meal plan, workouts to fit any skill level. Those come from Beachbody On Demand. So I'm going to make a schedule of workouts, and we're going to do a different one from a different program every day so they can test things out and reignite your self-confidence. Fun giveaways and games. I'll have a giveaway at the end of the week. We'll probably do a little daily fun challenge, group support, and accountability, and it's going to be right there in the free community. I'm not making another group. They're going to be right there. Let's cheer each other on and do this together. So my plan is it's going to be 10 days. I'm going to get people signed up. We're going to spend the first few days going over how to use Beachbody On Demand. I'm going to record myself probably on a Zoom call and post the video for them to navigate how to go through it, where they'll like go through and, check out the workouts, and I'll show them where to find, meal plans, recipes. I'll show them Fixate, just basic stuff like that. And then we will go ahead and do workouts for 7 days. And we'll do a daily roll call where they can share what they ate, where they can share how it went, how they felt, things like that. And I'm just going to pick a different workout from different programs. So I figured I'd do a 21-day fix workout, a country heat workout, probably one of the week 1 shift shop workouts, probably just the cardio one, things like that. And we'll just go through and cycle through. And then how do I get started? So I have to make this right now. So to register, head here. So I'm going to make a WooFoo form for free where they just go, where I get their email address. So all I'll need is your email address, and I'll get you the link to sign up for your free 2-week trial of Beachbody On Demand. So I'm going to write an email, have the email template done. When they submit their WooFoo form, I will fire off the link for them to sign up for BOD for the free trial. And I'll send them the meal plan. And this is something I'm working on, is a 10-day worthy and worth it fitness and wellness journal. So it's basically just going to have a positive affirmation, a place for them to record what they ate, and to journal on a little prompt. And it's just digital. I will just email it to them really quickly with their meal plan. And then all the challenge activities will take place here in the community. And then what's the catch? None. Just try it out. See if you like it. I'll be sure to send you a cancellation reminder for the BOD free trial. I'll probably send that on day 12. So they know that they have to cancel. And if they don't cancel, it's on them. I have nothing to do with that. And if you don't want to keep it, no big deal. If you do, we can chat about the best way to help you continue doing that. If you'd like to if you would like to pursue one-on-one coaching with me, no obligation, no hassle. Let's just focus on you for 10 days and getting your mojo back. That's it. That's all I'm doing for that challenge. And so it's going to require a little setup on making the WooFoo form, writing the email, and coming up with that worthy and worth it journal, which I'm probably just going to cobble together from stuff I've created in the past. But once I've made that, I can use that every single month. I never have to design another free group. I don't have to be crazy. I can just ask people. I'll probably get repeat people who want to join in, and I'll just tell them, yeah, I'd love to have you join. You need to sign up for a month of Beachbody On Demand then, whatever. And then at the end, the focus will be, okay, do you want to join my paid VIP results group? And ask them if they want to come over to that. So that's my plan for that. The other thing then is at the end of that 10 days, and I'll go in and talk about this live. So I'll be offering this Get Your Mojo Back week in a live video and also in a text post. So I'm going to cover both sides of that. And then when it's done, I'm planning on going, let me find this really quick. Sorry, I have to go back to my other graphic here. And, okay. Where are you? Okay. So this is my, what I call my VIP coaching package. So this is what I offer them at the end. Okay. So this is what they get. They get the all access pass, Beachbody On Demand, Shakeology, all that, the secret sauce. I sent them this thing that I created back in July, the Mindset Makeover program. that they get is just like their freebie for joining in with me. And then the game changer, they get to be in my results group. I have a meal plan that gets posted every week in there. I just have 4 that I rotate through. Steps for Success one-on-one call to get started right. And I am going to start hosting a weekly call in my challenge group, where they can jump in for support. I'm going to try it and see what happens. And a 30-minute one-on-one coaching call every month especially if they're signed up with me and have Shaco HD. Like, they will definitely get that 30 minutes a month to talk about their goals. So like at the end, okay, this is what I'm offering you. I'm not pressuring them. I'm not sending individual invites. This is what you have the opportunity to take advantage of with me if you would like to do this. So that's kind of where I'll go. And I think it makes sense to have it flow from adding a crap ton of content and value for them every day. You're adding 70% that. Then you're saying, hey, do you want to do this great free challenge with me? No strings attached. All you have to do is cancel by day 14 if you don't want to keep it. And then you have a bunch of people who had an opportunity to try things out, basically done a mini challenge group in your free community, and then bridge over to your challenge group. I'm not saying it's like a perfect science. I have not done this successfully yet because I'm putting it together, but I think that it helps to give a little like context to what should be happening in your free community to structure it this way. And, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be super pretty. It doesn't have to have pretty graphics. Like, it just has to be, hey, you know, I care about you. I'm here for you. I'm investing in you. Do you want to come with me? And I think that, okay, I think that could be really helpful. So like tomorrow, what I'm going to do to bridge into offering the free challenge is I'm going to get on there and talk about one of the pain points that was identified in my survey, which is the reality that infertility makes us gain weight and we don't take care of ourselves. So I'm going to go in and talk about my most awkward doctor's appointment ever and talk about that experience of being at the doctor and stepping on the scale and it being 225 pounds at 5 feet tall, and like dealing with the humiliation that came with that and the pressure that came from my OB to lose weight and how I struggled with that for a few years, and then, you know, just kind of leave that there. I'm just going to talk about that tomorrow and be like, can anyone else relate? And then the next day, I'm going to go into asking, okay, so, you know, self-care is really important, blah, 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 like talk about that, and then invite them to do the free group with me. So, but I've had most of these girls in here since the beginning of May. And I would say that I probably I shouldn't say all of them. I probably had about 50 people since the beginning of May, and I probably add like 5 new people a week. I need to work on inviting people and opening it back up more consistently. But I think that it really helps to do that and just have something to consistently invite to. But yeah, that's basically all I had on my list of stuff to talk about. I was trying to go through all the questions people had asked in the team page about how to do this. So I don't know if you have any specific questions or anything you'd like to talk about, but I'm happy to.
Yeah, mine was just really the like page, or not like page, the free community. Because I struggle with the like page. I struggle with free community. So it's just getting it all together is.
Yeah.
I mean, and everything that you said makes complete sense. It's just I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. No, I didn't either. Girl, I've been doing this for over 2 years now, and it's just like, honestly, in the past 5 days that I feel like all of these pieces have like puzzle pieced together for me in terms of like how I can be doing this and what I want it to be. So I think that it just takes some time. It's a radically different approach than most coaches take. But I think it's one that allows you to be a lot more authentic and a lot less salesy, which is I think what we're really looking for. And I would also say, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. I've been tooling around with my free community for a couple of months, and it's okay. And I still have 112 people in it. So, I mean, I feel good about that. Like, I don't have people leaving in droves when I, like, obviously make mistakes or do things weird, like, not a big deal. So I think it's about just starting it, just kind of picking out a name, and picking out who you want to work with and starting it. And, you know, maybe starting by even just putting that survey out to a group of people. Like you could even put it out to moms on your daughter's teams or whatever, because you just know that they're busy. Or if you want to work with a different group of people, identify who that is and reach out and just give them the chance to give you some feedback on what would help them. And then you can tailor what you're doing a little more closely to them. But I don't think you can make a mistake in talking about your own personal experience ever. I just think sometimes when we come to the challenge part of it, or the like providing things or having discussion, sometimes it falls flat. And that doesn't mean we did a bad job. It just means we didn't necessarily meet the needs of the people we want to serve. So I get these like great ideas all the time. And then I'm like, oh, maybe that's not really a great idea. Like it worked for me for 5 seconds, but it doesn't necessarily work for everyone else. So.
You know, that's like, you gave me tons of great ideas, and I have plenty of time coming up in the next week and a half to sit down and work on it. So
yeah, I would just, you know, think about it. And if you ever have questions, please feel free to message me, or I can hop on a Zoom with you to help or whatever. I've got oodles of time, and I will be working more or less on the same thing with refining my stuff and trying it out. So I'm nervous. I'm nervous to do like the free challenge thing, but I also think that it'll be really good. And I know I have a lot of girls who need it because they talk about it all the time. And I'm like, why have I not been meeting the need? I don't know. I think I've just been a little scared, you know, it's the fear side.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, you don't need like feel like all that I ever talk about is like working out, and it's just like it's not doing, like, I don't like talking about that all the time.
So don't. I would just talk about your life. And girl, you and I both know that your life is your kids. So like it's so much a part of you, and that's your identity. And I mean, you are Momanda. That's like your job, and you're so good at it. And I think that, you know, being able to talk about that kind of stuff and then just weave your other stuff into it, that makes the most sense, because more often than not, like, my days are consist of like me pulling myself out of the Netflix show hole long enough to get something accomplished. And like, that's what I need to be talking about, because it's so real for so many people. And, you know, versus like just posting about working out or whatever. So it needs to be more, and it needs to be reflective of who we are and super authentic, because the second we try to be anything other than that, it just falls flat. So yes. Well, I'm glad we did this. I'm a little sad that more people couldn't hop on, but I'm glad that we recorded it, and that we can, you know, have that opportunity for people to see it after. So great. Well, I'm going to hop off then, and I'm going to post the recording for this right away, actually, so that people can get it.
Okay.
But
thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And let me know if you have any questions, and I'll let y'all know how my stuff goes too. So
Okay.
Talk to you later. Bye.